I'm Whoodie,
I'm Chrisy Lala.
and we're about to give y'all the game on self-love.
Y'all ready? Stay tuned.
Okay, so I wanted to look up the definition of self-love because I feel like everybody's definition of self-love is different. Obviously, each person in the universe has their own way of thinking when it comes to that. So the definition of self-love, it says a state of accepting and appreciating and valuing yourself. So what are some ways that you practice self-love, sis?
Just remembering to pour into myself. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Just reminding myself who I am. Like we talked about words of affirmation. I don't do it every day, but when I feel like it's getting low, that's when I start to, okay.
I need to pick me up.
Yeah, I got to remember who I am. I'm that girl, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that, and not feeling, and just remembering that self-love isn't selfish. You know, with being a mom, sometimes you just get so used to just, pouring into your child, taking care of them, you just forget to take care of yourself. So I just got to remind myself, girl, go ahead. Get your hair done. Go take that spa day. Yeah. That's definitely, I went to the spa recently, so that's going to start being, it might not be every month, because come on. Yeah. But it may be like every couple of months, maybe every couple quarters.
And that's so good. That's so good that you did that, because I feel like as women, we deserve that.
Yeah, just that time, just to
release.
Yeah, release and just enjoy. Yeah. Just enjoy you.
I definitely practice self-love every day, daily. If I'm not doing it in the morning, I'm doing it in the evening. I'm definitely doing it throughout my day. I think it's very important, especially if you ever felt in life like you've never had that. I would say the last time I felt like I didn't love myself was like in my early 20s. I am 43 now, a long time ago. Because once you pull yourself out of there, like for real, life is just so much better when you practice self-love. Because if you don't really have that, how can you pour love into anybody else, honestly?
That's true, too.
You know what I'm saying?
You have to love yourself
first. For sure.
Yeah.
That definitely has to be top priority. I had a conversation with my 14-year-old last night, because before I started, I started doing my notes for today, I pretty much was like, dang, do I talk about this kind of stuff with her? Especially because she's getting to an age now where it's social media and, things that could really send her spiraling, you know what I'm saying? And so when I talked to her about it, she knew what self-worth was.
Okay.
She knew what self-love was. Her definition of self-love was, it's just you love yourself, Mom. I'm like, well, do you love yourself? She was like, duh. So I love that she understood that. She really didn't understand self-reflection, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But I just feel like it's just very important, especially as a woman, to make sure that you loving on yourself daily, even the small things. You know what I'm saying? What are some things that you feel? Because for me, I feel like social media, especially nowadays, is very. It could really have you thinking.
It can mess up your self-love.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Thinking that you're not worth anything because you're comparing yourself. But you know what they say? Comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
So don't compare yourself, because a lot of the times we're seeing people at the very end and you don't see what it took to get there, the steps that they took to get there.
Hello.
And sometimes you don't even know. We're talking about young girls too. We're looking at these other younger adults that have these lavish lifestyles. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know what they had to do to get those type of things. You know what I mean? So don't try to compare yourself to them. Yeah. You have to be you. And I know the thing that you had on your bio. What do you have on your bio? It says is it your you? That's your biggest superpower. I love that. Yes. I love that. Yes. I love that.
Because it really is when you think about it.
It's only one of you.
Right.
Yeah, nobody else can be you.
And it's so important because if you have your self-love together, you can definitely pour into others. Like you can definitely, since I was a little girl, one thing that I loved about my dad, he always told me how beautiful I was.
Yeah, that's how my dad was too.
Yeah, like even on my worst day, and I'm just feeling like,
Yeah.
And my daddy like, girl, let me remind you who you are. You Regine Moore daughter. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like it really does start when you're younger.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah, and so it's very important to practice that. I also meditate. I love to meditate. I recently started meditating like in 2021ish. So that's something that's still kind of new for me, you know. But I feel like connecting with myself, my soul, is so important too, because that's one of the ways that I help love on myself.
Yeah,
I feel good. I feel released when I go outside and just sit with myself.
Yeah,
it feels really releasing. I think it's very important to do that at least once a week. I do it more than that, but at least if you know you could do that. Some people look for therapy, for their self-love, to be able to like even pick themselves up that day. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay too. I think that if that's for you, do it. I
haven't really gotten into the meditate part, but you know, one thing I do at night is I put my Zen music on, my ocean sounds, and it really helps me just relax. So I love that. Like I relax. I'm like, look at me. I'm a whole toddler, got white noise going on at nighttime. But you know, I like that.
Yeah,
you know
it makes you feel good.
It just makes me feel good. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of sleepy already. I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, put my
So you like grandson, huh?
Sure am, baby. Let me hear the ocean sounds.
Yeah.
Let me hear the thunder. Okay, I'm going to sleep. But yeah, it really helps me.
And that good night rest, it help you to wake up in the morning
and feel good
about
refreshed and ready to start the day.
Yes, I don't think people realize how much sleep is
so
important.
That your body needs to relax.
Yes.
Okay, and so I put up a question on my Instagram, and I asked, how do you practice self-love? So I got some responses, and I wanted to just piggyback off the resting thing. And someone did write and said, by letting myself rest even when my brain is telling me to do shit. And I think that's important. Like, you have to listen to your body all the time. If your body needs rest, let your body rest. And the person that wrote this is a mom. I think she has 4 girls. Oh, wow. So I think it's important. Yeah, she has 4 girls.
Girl, me
young.
too.
Yeah. Woo. So I think it's important when or even like if you feel overwhelmed or you just need a moment, take that moment as a mom. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And rest or whatever you got to put on. Like, hey, we finna watch a movie. Let me lay down.
It's time to chill.
Yeah, we're going to chill for a little bit. Yeah, even that can be practicing self-love, because you're listening to your body.
Yes.
You need to love on your body and do what your body is telling you.
It's so important.
Yeah, and it's funny because she wrote, okay, at least somebody understands me, because at least I'm not feeling like I'm lazy. Hell no,
no, girl, lay down, girl, lay down.
Lay your head.
Go ahead, baby. Look, ain't no judgment here. And
no judgment.
And if anybody judging you, it's kind of like, do you love yourself?
Yeah, bitch.
You all worried about me laying down.
Why are you worried about me laying down? I'm not lazy.
Right.
I'm tired.
Right. That's a difference.
Yeah. So.
I definitely feel like also with self-love comes a lot of things dealing with self. It comes self-worth. What do you think about self-worth, sis?
Ooh, man. Self-worth, you have to know. You got to know your value. So I feel like self-worth has a lot to do with your value. And as long as you know your value and how you treat yourself and how you walk around, other people are going to know, okay. Yeah, that's the value.
And we ain't thinking old school way. You know how back in the day people used to be like, oh, she a dime. Nah, baby. I'm worth more than 10 cents.
Yeah, worth more. Thank
you. That shit is back in the day type of stuff. Like, we definitely, as women, we have to know our worth. We have to know our value.
Yeah, how valuable you are.
Yeah. Because, you know, I feel like if you don't really have the self-worth, how can you honestly go into something in a relationship, whether that be a friendship, a relationship, a marriage, any of that type of stuff,
a job,
right?
A career, anything.
You have to know what your value. You have to know what you're bringing to the table, because it be a lot of people out here that just don't have that in themselves, and that's so sad.
Yeah, they don't know.
Yeah,
they don't know.
Yeah,
and it's not for you to prove to somebody what you're worth. Like, they have to see it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I try to tell my daughters all the time, like, y'all priceless. Like, you need to meet somebody that got that same mentality, that same, you know what I'm saying? Like, And not in a cocky way. We talked
Not in a
before
cocky way,
about when people try to say like, "Oh, she thinks she all that."
Right. It's not that I think I'm all that. You think I'm all
Right.
that. And it's a difference between thinking you're better than somebody and thinking that, you know, you that girl, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
Because for me,
I wouldn't think I was better than anyone. I just know that, you know, my
No.
value, what I'm worth, what I bring, my education, all, you know, all of those things. So
it's
and
what
if you're
you
looking
have in you.
and if you're looking at me sideways, then you need to check yourself.
You got to
know what I
practice.
mean? So
you need some work.
yeah, because I'm the type of person, if somebody else, like when I don't know if we're going to go on how we met, but when I first saw you, I just knew you was another black woman taking care of business that has a, you know, that has girls, that has a man. I'm not going to feel like, well, who she thinks she is? Hell no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought she was
I'm gonna
bougie,
give
but I
somebody-
still want to get to know her ass.
You still got to give them. And now look, you bougie too. But yeah, you have to be able to give. I think that's something that's important. You have to give people their flowers too. You know, like really to be that girl, you have to be able to tell somebody else you're that girl too. Like you have to. Yeah, you can't be that girl but be me.
I love being my girlfriend's like biggest supporter, biggest hype girl, biggest cheerleader. I love to do it because bitch, like when we walking in a building, you see us.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's because
we all look good.
Right.
Yeah.
And we take the time to not only pour into ourselves and love on ourselves, but we do it for each other.
Right.
And
show up for each
it's
other.
not enough of that.
Yeah.
It's not enough of that.
No, because you know what? I know we're going to have an episode on friendship. A lot of the times, these women that you see together, they're together for an aesthetic. There's nothing, you know what I'm saying, there. They just want to, okay, well, she looked good to go hang out with, to go party with. There's not that whole.
It's not real life.
So that's why a lot of them don't have that self-love. They're just looking for somebody that look good with them to go hang out. But that's why they don't pour into each other. That's why they can't hype each other up. That's why like a lot of friendships end.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, all the girls I hang out with now, like in my 40s, I've been friends with these girls literally since like my late 20s. So, yeah, I feel like it's just so important to pour into them friendships. If somebody pouring into you, you got to make sure that you're giving that love back because it can't be one-sided. And I feel like a lot of times that does happen, especially.
Or people just want to dump, but they don't never. And I feel like it's seasons too, because I went through my season, but I also was like, oh, hold on, let me make sure I'm like, you know, how you doing? Let's talk about this. How's that? Yeah.
And you've always been like that, sister.
Yeah, I hope so, because I'm like, I'm dumping, I'm doing this.
No, I feel like
proud of me.
I feel like you definitely, you know, it's a healthy balance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
and
we
one
both
thing,
lift each other
right?
up,
And one thing for sure with us, especially, you know what I'm saying? We can always come to the round table, as my husband like to call it.
Hey.
We can always come to the round table and be like, well, sis, you know, I ain't like when blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna talk that out and this grown women stuff like.
And just move on.
Yeah, we're gonna move on because that's the way, you know.
That's how it's supposed to be. It's nothing that we never need to bring to like Instagram or Facebook.
Heck no, you'll never catch us doing that.
No, not us.
I definitely wanted to touch on self-reflection because that has to do a lot to do with self-love.
Yeah.
If you're not reflecting, baby,
you doing it totally wrong because nobody is perfect.
Nobody perfect.
Yeah.
And you know, we all go through struggles. So when you self-reflect, I literally feel like it's processing your thoughts. Like, for example, I used to be back in the day very much a type of person that would, I could say this because we're married now. We've been married for 10 years now. But, you know, when we were just dating, so to say, boyfriend, girlfriend, I would do things like he would be coming to me with a problem and I would bring up a problem from like 5 months ago. That's reflecting. It ain't self-reflection. There's a difference. Deflecting, I'm sorry. And so when I would deflect and he would tell me that, I don't want to hear that. What you mean? What you mean?
Yeah.
I have worked so hard on self-reflecting.
You got defensive.
Yes, so I got yes, deflecting,
so you were able
defensive.
To be like, damn, I guess I am.
Yes, and once I saw that in myself, once I self-reflected, I was like, ugh, because I wouldn't want nobody to do that to me.
What you said? Ugh.
Yeah, I didn't like that girl.
Yeah.
That girl, no, she was not that girl.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
She was
not
becoming
yet.
that
She
girl.
had some growth to do,
Yeah.
and I just think had I not fixed that, I feel like we wouldn't be where we're at today. Not saying that was just the only issue, but what I'm saying is I had to take time to learn how to self-reflect.
Yeah, and see what you needed to fix.
Yeah, and I feel like we as people, especially women, we have to do that more often.
Yeah, because no one is perfect, and I feel like there's always ways that we can, you know, build ourselves up. Like for me, I know in the past couple months, I'll sit down and like, well, dang, what, you know, let me self-reflect and see, you know, what I could have done and what can I work on? And I know patience is something I really, really have to work on. We talk about that all the time. So patience is something that I'm working on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's good that I reflected and I have something. So that way, when I have that, having that like, come on. I know I'm like, oh, let me pull myself.
Yeah.
Let me just be patient. Maybe there's a reason why this is going this way. Yeah. Let me just slow it down a little bit. Mm-hmm.
So, with self-reflecting is personal growth. So we touched on that.
And it's good. I think if you're dealing with or starting now to like self-reflect, go ahead and maybe just get a journal and just start writing down things.
That's
like,
the best thing.
Don't nitpick yourself, but just see maybe different situations that you've had, maybe how you could have handled something better. Let's start there. You know?
Yeah. Like recently, I had an issue. Not recently. It was like last year sometimes. And me and my girlfriends were having a talk, and I got upset by something that she said to me. And instead of just processing it and then coming back to the round table, I just spewed all just mean, you know what I'm saying? And when I went back and I thought about it, I was like, dang, she didn't deserve that, because she wasn't coming from a malicious place. She wasn't coming from a bad place. She was just saying like, no, like I don't want your mind to be where it was, because it was about grieving my dad. And you know, when I thought about it, I was like, dang, you know what? She wasn't meaning me no damn harm.
Yeah.
Like if I would have took the time, you know, if I would have took the time and just really thought about it and self-reflect, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't have lashed out. So it's just really important, because that's also self-awareness. Like you have to be very aware of yourself and your triggers and your, you know, read the room. Okay? Like,
but we're not perfect. We're human beings. So
right. But I gave myself grace. I definitely gave myself grace in that moment.
Back and you talked to her, so. That's
but
good.
I just think it's very important for us all to just really practice that self-love, self-reflection, self-worth. What do you think? Any other things that?
Self-worth, Did we say self-respect?
Oh,
respecting yourself?
That's a big one.
Yeah.
And we kind of touched on that, like when you were saying last episode, when you were talking about the divorce.
Yeah.
And you were saying like, I'm
about
to get
revenge.
like get my goodies, you know.
Yeah, to each and everybody, because I'm trying to. I respect myself. Yeah. And like I said, like, you know, people will say, oh, if I was you, I would have get back. But I don't know. I still, at that moment, I respected the marriage. I respected him, and I respected myself, and I respected my child.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of different variations of like respect. And I respect myself.
Self-respect is so important to practice too, because I feel like, especially in my kids' generation, they don't. Young ladies, listen. Okay. Y'all got to do better with that, because I just be seeing a lot of stuff going on. I'm just like, dang, bro, like, how did we come to this? Like, how did y'all generation come to this?
Do you want to say what it was that you saw? Or maybe just like a not too deep in? What did you see?
I'm gonna
just give us an example.
I'm gonna just say, okay, like, I'm gonna just say, you don't have to. You want to leave something to the imagination. You want to have somebody guessing about you. You know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, everything just out there.
Yeah.
And it ain't gotta be like that. And again, you know, do you? But I'm just saying, as far as, you know,
I see what you're saying.
A more mature woman, you know what I'm saying? You might just want to practice that a little bit more, because you want to have them guessing. You don't want to be that person that's
be a little mysterious.
Yeah, like you don't want to be that person like they just know your every move.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
you want to be a little bit, leave something to the first date.
Something. Yeah. You don't want to just put yourself all out there and then, you know, like everybody just know, like, oh, today she's gonna shake her ass today.
I guess it's for likes.
Okay.
And some people are, you know.
Okay, but they ain't gotta do all of that. Like,
I don't know.
I just look, especially like I look at, you know, young girls as like my daughters because I have young adult
girls.
kids.
But you know, when I went out with Cece and Naya, girl, we was the one like it was crazy because I'm like the way these girls are dancing and they're pulling their skirts are already short.
Mm-hmm.
So when they start dancing, you could just see like just ass and thongs basically, right? And I'm like, damn, they not even getting like no tips or nothing. Y'all are just entertaining
like for
me.
free.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess I just want to say to the girls that, man, like if y'all gonna do that, at least get paid for it.
Right.
But just don't be out there just doing that. I don't know. That
just for some likes. I just know it's just not that, you know. But again, like to each their own. I'm just telling y'all some things that, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, just
helped me when I was younger, and I had a lot of self-respect.
And then I guess it goes by what are you trying to
attract?
What are you trying to attract to yourself? You know what I mean? Because if you're out doing that, if you're on social media, that's all you do, then that's what you're gonna attract. So you can't be upset that you're not.
Because then I look at the difference, so to say, like it's two young girls that work at my job. And they are so like, you know what I'm saying? Like my kids
Sweet
don't
girls.
shake ass on Instagram. I'm just giving another example besides my girls, by the way. But they're just so sweet. Like and
sweet girls.
Sweet girls. They thriving. They just doing them. And it's no like, what you see is what you get. Mm-hmm. And it's so wholesome to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I pray that, you know, especially one of them, that she finds like the love of her life because she just deserved that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just know she's going to be a good wife. She's going to be a good mom when she's ready to have kids. And so, I just think it's important to like shout those girls out that go unnoticed, so to say, because they're not, you know, on socials.
Like
and you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, shout out to y'all for real. And they know who they are.
Period.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So some benefits from practicing these things, which I was shocked when I looked this up because, you know, I have my own regimen. I have my own benefits and things, right? But some benefits are improved self-esteem, increased confidence, stronger relationships, greater happiness, reduced stress and anxiety, which, oh my God, when I was younger, I had anxiety so bad.
Yeah.
Like, so bad. I used to have a lot of triggers too when I was younger. And I have worked so hard to say that I don't have to be on anxiety medicine and I don't have to do those things because I practice so much everything, self-love, self-worth, self-respect. I practice that so that I don't have to be on meds, and you know what I'm saying?
It's like a medicine.
Yeah, it literally is to love yourself. It really is, and it just is such a great feeling, man. I just wish everybody.
But you know, it takes you know, it's easier said than done.
There's
steps that you have to do. It's a lot of work. You know what I mean? It's a lot of work that you have to pour into yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you just gotta have it in you, you know, and you just gotta remember that you're that girl.
Yeah, and just remember, like, when you're starting to practice self-love, that other, like, your past don't define you.
Oh, it
things
does
that
not.
happen. Yeah, like, give yourself grace, and while you're trying to work on yourself, just remember you're turning, like you tell me, like, you're growing. You know what I mean? You're turning into somebody that you haven't been before. So you have to really give yourself grace.
What we like to say, instead of saying going through it, we're growing through it because we're growing with every, you know what I'm saying? Yes. So it's just so important to with your growth. I
love when you say that.
Yeah, because it's just a moment. Yeah, you know.
That's it.
Yeah, and this too shall pass. Yeah. So I feel like we should never sit in anything. Show yourself grace and just love on yourself.
Yeah, and like you tell me, like, it's okay to feel it. Like, feel those emotions.
Heck yeah. You know, I'm a crybaby, but I'm a thug too.
Thug missus.
But I'm definitely a crybaby. I'm gonna let that shit out. I'm not gonna let nothing sit in me, baby, because I gotta let this go.
And near my cycle, I be like, I don't know what's wrong.
I hate life today. Yes. Because life do be lifing. Like, I'm not trying to make it seem like everything's perfect, but you know, for the most part, I just feel like the more that I poured into myself and the more that I love myself, I just could love so many more people. Yeah. And I could just really
and you get into your purpose too, sis, because you're very like a girl's girl. Mm-hmm. You're always happy, like you love. Like, I love that about you.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I just try to just stay that way, because What do I have to be mad for?
You stay positive. Like even when I bring stuff to you, you don't always be on my side. You
sure don't.
You be like, now let me get you together.
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah. Because girl, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely that girl. You definitely deserve love.
Yeah.
All the things. Period. So, yeah, I feel like we wanted to really make this episode be about that.
Let me say some other. Can you open your thing? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna share some other responses.
Oh yeah, that's important.
Okay, so some other responses I got. Well, y'all already know who said this. Looking in the mirror every single morning, telling myself I'm that girl. Okay?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I do, and I know I might not be the baddest, but in my eyes, baby,
yeah, you have to think that you're the baddest, and not even on no type like not type of shit. You have to think
and not better than anybody way, but just like on some like
you have
because we could all be them girls.
Yeah, you can walk with your head held
absolutely
high, and not afraid to give somebody else their flowers. Because I like when you see. You like, sis, look at this girl, she bad, black girl magic, or, just in general, she's a pretty girl. Look at, I love that. I love that. Like,
you know who I love too? Speaking of women, TikTok mama. You ever seen her videos?
Wait. Yeah.
She from Texas.
Yeah.
That lady, she's
practiced
self-love too.
Yeah.
You could tell.
She has a son, right?
Our daughter.
She got a daughter?
Yeah, she has a daughter.
Okay.
She has a daughter. Yeah, but she's very she's an older lady.
Yeah.
Mature. Let me not use the word older.
Oh yeah.
She know what I'm talking about?
She do the funny ones, right?
Yeah, she's funny. She's outgoing. She put that camera up. Alexa, play da 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 da. And when you look at her, you wouldn't think that she's that type of girl, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't think it.
But
you can tell she practiced self-love. Yes. And she's at that point. She don't care what anyone has to say, and that's really when you know that you love yourself.
Yes,
you know what I mean. And that's the things I have to remind myself
every day.
You know what I'm saying? Especially with putting myself out there like that. I don't give a damn. Did y'all make money by talking about me? Did you what? This is my life. I'm gonna live my life.
Since I had to work on that, when my sister first became a content creator.
Oh my God!
And this was her way of loving on herself, and you know what I'm saying, cooking and getting in the kitchen, and I would see them comments. My sister had to say, sis.
Don't argue with them folks.
Don't argue with them. Let it go. And she was right, because why I'm gonna give you even 2 minutes of my day when you on this bitch being negative?
You trolling.
Yes, and for what?
If you're on social media and you're leaving nasty comments just out of nowhere, out of videos that people are just check yourself. You do not love yourself.
Yeah.
Let's start there. You do not love yourself.
I remember when London was in school. I think I even probably told my big girls this too, but I know I told London this. Somebody was being mean to her at school.
Aww.
And
listen, about the kids.
Listen, I don't play about my daughters.
No,
none of them. All 4 of them, don't play with them. And she was saying like the little girl was being mean and saying mean stuff to her. And I was like, tell that little girl she don't love herself. And you might need to tell her mom and daddy don't either, because they would be pouring into that little girl. Good things.
Don't have to.
Yes, because little girl, why is you mad in the 3rd grade? Mm-hmm. Baby, what's wrong? What's going on?
Because you know what I noticed? A lot of people that do that, they don't love themselves, and then they are the way they feel about themselves. They're saying it and putting it on you.
Yeah. Projecting.
That projecting, man.
Yeah. And I think that's so important. Yeah. Don't project on other people. Even if you're having a day. I remember like when all y'all worked there, you, Joe, Chrisy, we if we was having a morning, we would IM each other. And you remember that?
Good morning, y'all. I'm just not.
I'm not with the shits today.
Give me until about lunchtime.
Yes. And really, I feel like that's how our friendship grew, literally. Because
well, it's not like I'm not mad at y'all.
I'm just having a day. Some stuff happened at the house or whatever. The drive. Yes, the kids got on my nerves. Whatever it was, like we was able to just be like, give me some time.
Give me some time.
Yeah. So I feel like that's just really important not to project
on people,
on other people.
Because a lot of people, I see that a lot of the times people will project like what you're doing. Why she doing it? It's because they want to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, everybody's doing this and da da da. Oh, because you want to do it. You just don't have the balls to do it. So
that's what it is.
So now you're gonna project on me because you want me not to do it. But guess what? I'm still gonna do it.
Right.
So
it is what it is.
Yeah, we're gonna go. So either you're gonna see me, make it, or you're gonna see me fail. But it's not a fail. It's gonna be a lesson learned.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the difference. When you realize that, sis, You got that,
Yeah,
sis.
I got that.
Because I remember you saying that you used to feel like I'm failing. But look
Yeah.
how you turned that around, baby.
Yes.
Growth. See
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
That growth.
It literally, like, I feel like I could be a life coach almost a little
Yes.
bit. You know what I'm saying? Because
Come on
I
in,
love
make an appointment.
right.
Yeah. But her books are filled to like.
They really are. Like, I'll be busy, y'all.
Books are filled. Yeah.
Yes.
Something else someone said was journaling, writing out affirmations, taking self-care days. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Those self-care days. You need it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go get my nails
Yes.
done, my toes done.
Yes.
You know, even if that's not your thing, whatever is your thing, maybe going to the beach.
Yeah.
You know.
Sitting by the water.
Yeah, going to the movies, whatever you like to do. Remember, and like with me coming out of, you know, a long relationship, I have to remember who I am, what I like to do. So yeah, that's how.
And it's okay for you to celebrate yourself.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Self-care days, you have to.
Yeah.
And you know what I like to do? Mm-hmm. I like to take them bubble baths.
Yes.
Don't play
That's your
with me.
thing.
Yeah,
That's your thing, sis.
Hold on.
Yes, sis. And my thing
That's
is just meditating. I like to go sit outside, talk to my dad.
Yeah.
Look at the
Hear
plants, hear the sounds, the birds.
Mm-hmm.
I might turn on some music. Yeah. But I really enjoy it. I think self-care is so important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to.
Self-care literally helps it helps you mentally, spiritually, and socially.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
If you're taking care of yourself, you'll be able to be better when you come out.
Be a better person.
Mm-hmm. You don't really have to fake the funk or nothing.
Right.
Like, it's just how I feel.
Right.
Someone said being vulnerable with myself. Okay. Scheduling many check-ins with myself and doing what I love. I love that.
Yeah.
And that came from a man. So I like that. I like that. And we want to touch on like men too.
Yes.
I think
this is not a men bashing podcast.
No.
Let me say that.
We love the men.
We love the men.
We love the good men.
My man especially.
Thank you.
Yes.
But yeah, I think it's good for men to practice self-care because I feel like they already have so much against them that they have to do. They always feel like they have to be like taking care of everyone. They need to take time for themselves too and do what they love and pour into themselves. You know what I mean? So
I love that.
And a lot of men, you know, they may deal with mental illness and then they don't want to seem
ashamed.
like
nervous to even talk about it, bring it up.
That they're going through something, they're feeling down and depressed. I think it's good for men to have whatever they like to do. Go smoke a cigar, go play pool, go hang out.
And you know, I didn't
go
even
play cards.
for real. I didn't even realize you helped me appreciate that in Steven. Because I remember you saying like, this motherfucker just shuts down.
Yeah.
He just shuts down, and I'm over here like, shit, my husband, he gonna tell me how he feel. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like,
that communication.
It could be heavy, but at the same time, I'd rather him open up. I'd rather him express himself. I'd rather him tell me like, ooh, the day was a day. You know what I'm saying? Versus holding that shit in, because then it can result in, you know,
other things.
And that's a part of self-love, realizing like, I have to hear him out. I have to know how his day was. Because if not, it could just really lead to other issues. And for what? When I could just hear him out. So, yeah.
Period. Someone said quiet time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We love quiet time. I love nap time. Don't
yes.
play with it. Even on,
we love
even
a good
on
nap.
vacation. Let me take a nap. Hold on.
Yeah, we love a good nap.
Complimenting myself. Listen.
Very, very, very good.
Very much that girl. Yes. So yeah, give yourself compliments. Being humble. Okay. Yes. Always want to remember where you came from and what it took to get there. How you feel about that?
I think that's important. But I also think it's important to not make your friends feel like you have to make them feel humble. Does that make sense?
Explain on that.
Okay. So like, for example, like what you doing content creating, right? A friend that might look at that as like, she doing content creating, but you know what I'm saying? But could she be doing more? Could she do this instead? Could she? No, that's not your thing, baby. That content creating is not my thing. Like, I'm not on here like making a whole spread and making my food look good. You know what I'm saying? So the more of what I'm trying to say is, I don't need to humble you, sis. You're that girl.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
That's how I look at all my girlfriends.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to tell you how to fix your content.
Yeah. Or I don't have to, like, if you're doing this and doing that, I don't have to be like, oh, remember where you came from or you used to. Yeah, because you know how y'all like to travel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they like to travel. They just not They just not going like not down in this because I go to the Bahamas too, but they just not going to the Bahamas. They going to Egypt, motherfucker. They going to Spain. They going to places that you ain't even thought about. Okay,
but
that's not for me to be like, well, don't forget where you came from, or she thinks she all of that. She need to humble.
So that's what I'm saying as far as
herself.
Yeah, it's very important for you. That goes with uplifting your girlfriends.
Yeah.
You don't have to remind them like, girl, a few years back you wasn't going nowhere.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
when she says she got that. When she says that she gets that notification on that her husband sending her that ticket information, I said, boom, let's start the
planning.
Let's start the Fashion Nova cards. Let's see what are we wearing.
My sister be like, what's our itinerary?
How are you wearing your hair? What we doing? Where we going?
Yes.
Let me see. Okay, Airbnb. Yes.
So that's what I mean as far as you don't feel like you have to humble me. No, I don't feel like I have to humble you.
It's good to watch you grow.
Yes.
I know that. When I watch you grow and I'm seeing you do things, I know that I'm able to
possible.
do it. Yes,
Hello.
Bitch, it's possible. Just gotta be patient. You know what I'm saying? My time coming.
It's coming.
I'm gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Somebody's gonna be sending me notifications soon too.
Hello.
Somebody said, hold on, I had one more. Not second guessing myself when I buy myself something. Yeah, put it in the cart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes
I used to have that so bad.
Don't want to buy yourself stuff, but then you're buying your kids whatever they need.
Oh, I used to have that so bad. And then my husband gave me a credit card.
We see how that worked out. Ain't gonna feel bad about this.
You know what I'm saying? But even if he didn't, I learned before that it's okay for me to buy myself that dress or that that perfume or that outfit
get my
or
hair done.
shoes. Yeah, and I definitely like to get my hair done. Baby, shout out to Brandy.
Shout out to you, boo. Yeah. And I got one more. Okay, challenging negative self-talk and replace it with positive affirmations. I like that.
I like that one. Yes, because we're the hardest person on ourselves.
Our biggest critic.
Yeah,
you know
our biggest critics. You're right.
So maybe even saying like when you're feeling like, okay, girl, I'm seeing a couple rolls right there, but then maybe like, okay, well you did eat a salad today. So I ain't gonna do too much.
Or you know what I'm saying? That just make me. I need to add a day to work out. I need to add. You know what I'm saying? So I like that.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I like that one a lot. And they actually talk about this too. That was one of them.
Okay.
So it's just definitely important. I want to read the definition of self-worth real fast. It says valuing yourself and knowing what you're deserving of.
What you deserve.
Yeah. Because a lot of times people don't think that they deserve anything, sis. How do you think that a person that's feeling like that, how do you think they can uplift themselves out of that?
Shit. That's a journey.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a journey. That's not something that's right away.
Yeah.
You just got to keep reminding yourself, and hopefully you have a good circle of people around you
that can uplift you.
Too. And if you don't have that, you just have to keep reminding yourself.
Yeah.
Do that positive self-talk, and at some point
you'll get to every day,
like, look, I don't even deserve this shit. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And that could be for anything. It could be for a friendship, relationship, job. Yeah. Sometimes jobs can be very toxic. And a lot of times I've noticed it's never the job duties. It's always the people there. There be some miserable ass people at these job places. I don't know how the fuck they got hired.
I don't either.
I don't know. It can't be no way you got hired where I work at.
Was it your personality? Because how?
Yeah, you must have turned that motherfucker off.
Listen.
Okay.
How?
Oh my gosh.
I would really say.
I've worked around some people that is just like, what is wrong with you?
Tighten up.
Yeah, bitch. I didn't sleep with you last night.
Good morning.
Hello.
Oh my God, my friend. Shout out to you, Johanna. She had this thing when she worked at Mart Master. Like, if you didn't speak to her in the morning, she was the type of person to be like, "Good morning, good morning," and we already Joe Boss and Mama, baby. She would definitely get you together for that, and I get it, but I was the type of person to be like, "They ain't speak, I ain't speaking. What's wrong with them?"
Yeah, like if I look up and you walk
out,
all right, bitch.
Yeah, so. It just depends on who you get for that day with that type of stuff. But yeah, I think it's definitely important for you to even at work surround yourself with good people.
Yeah, and if they on that toxic shit,
stay away from them.
Yeah, just do your job and go home. And then on top of that, and then if you start to notice your manager is just get what you can get out of that position. You know, get the experience you need, and then just move the fuck along.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do it gracefully.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Try not to burn bridges. Don't try to cuss nobody out.
Don't cuss nobody out because it's not worth it.
Yeah, just
it's
know
really
what
not.
you deserve, and you not. This just not my space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I tell my adult daughters all the time now, like, them people don't, like, when you clock out, who are they? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
especially if they're not a work friend. It's a difference between a coworker and a work friend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be careful with those too.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. Yeah. But shout out to, because we met at work.
Oh, yeah. But sometimes you're gonna meet that person and you just click. But everybody at the job site is not, you know, your friend.
Surround yourself with good people at all times and at all costs. Like, if they're not for you and the way you're trying to show your or feel your self-love, self-worth, self-reflection, bye. But yeah, I just I do want to say thank you to our followers, our subscribers. Our last episode, we got a lot of positive feedback, so I want to keep going.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it flowing. Yeah, we definitely do appreciate the love that we got, and all the feedback too. You know, I was nervous about filming that first episode, but you know, I was just like, even if I helped one person, and I helped a couple people, they reached out to me, so that's good. People you didn't even know was going through stuff, you know? Yeah, but life just be life, and you know, there's nothing to be ashamed of. A lot of times we get on Instagram and everybody wants to look perfect, but nobody's perfect. People go through shit, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. So. And those girls that get surgery and stuff, like, I'm no diss to them, you know, but just they're doing it for a reason. It's something that they want to fix within themselves, you know what I'm saying? And nothing is wrong with that. But at the same time, you know, to the young girls that's wanting to, like, stay natural and thinking that they have to do that, y'all don't have to do that. Yeah, you don't. You can work for that. You can work out. You know what I'm saying? You can talk to yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's not something that you want to do or you have the funds for at the moment, like, you know, just stay true to yourself. Don't you don't have to think that because what you see on Instagram that's the life that you have to have, because just remember, like, with the surgery and stuff, or maybe someone else's shape, a lot of stuff has to do with genetics. Yes. If it's not genetics, then it may be surgery or, you know, whatever. But just for me, when I did my 2025 what do you want to call it? Goals? Yeah, my 2025 goals, and I put a picture of myself up there, like a couple years back, so I know, you know, that's kind of, I made myself my own goals. You know what I'm saying? I'm my own body goals, because who could do it better than me? Nobody. You know what I mean? Exactly. I can only be me. So yeah, I'm gonna put myself on there. You know what I mean? So me and Steven was having this conversation too. Because I like to record myself. Yeah. And then I go back and look at them. And I'm like, that's my motivation. Yeah. So you just said a mouthful. You feel me? Yeah. So just know that you're that girl and just stay true to yourself. Like, you don't have to, you know, you don't look like everybody else. You don't have to look like everybody else, because it's only one you. Yeah. And just always remember that. And then if you do want to make changes on your body, your face, just do it because you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? I wear weave because I want to wear motherfucking weave. That's why. So, period. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? If you want to do those changes, do it because you want to do it. Not because of what you see. On Instagram or social media. Yeah. So that's it. I think we're going to wrap up self-love. Thank y'all for following. Thank you for watching. All right. And stay tuned for episode 3. All right. Thank y'all. Deuces. So somebody, you don't know who, give us a game, a gift. Whoodie and Lala, congratulations on Give Us a Game podcast. We are so proud of you ladies. Cheers to many more episodes in the beginning of the new chapter. We love you. Joe and Andy, the Crystals from Joanna Lee. Thank you, Joe and Andy. Thank you. Oh my gosh. So cute. These are cute. See? Thank you. Yes. It matches everything. Yes. Yo. Thank you. It matches perfectly, girl. Perfect. Yes. Thank you. Say hey to our followers. Yes.
Thank you.
You